sure I got my keys. Okay. We've got red lights up here for nighttime, so you don't lose your night vision when the doors open. An eclipse happens in about the same spot within about 375 years. But this, we get 2 in 7 years. The odds of that, astronomical. The atmosphere around here has felt electric for like 2 years leading up to this, as everybody's realized what's coming. Having the NASA groups come into town, the high altitude balloon launches. We've done 2 practice high altitude balloon launches from the stadium this year. And that was awesome. But just the lead up to this has been great.
You know, Carbondale is kind of small town living at its best. And so it's a very welcoming and inclusive community, and surprisingly culturally diverse, especially for Southern Illinois. You know, and then you got all these local yokels, which I totally adore. I mean, we moved here when I was 9 because my mama married a coal miner from Ziegler, and the local culture is awesome. I think people are often very surprised when they come to Southern Illinois, how beautiful it is. Probably a little more southern than they expected, especially if they're coming down from Chicago. We're the northernmost fingertips of, Dixie, down here. So I think people will be very pleasantly surprised.
There are some people that are, I think, looking at it in rather negative ways, like, oh, all these people coming and all this and I just heard last night that they're allowing open alcohol, I guess, within a certain spot in the city, and there's already people that have trouble with that, I think, but I think that's fine, so. It's going to bring a lot of people to Carbondale that have never been here, so we're getting a lot of tourists and visitors. So I've been living here since 1972, and it's a college town, typical college town, and we're kind of in a sort of rural mining area, so I think in some ways some people will feel overwhelmed with this many people showing up, but we'll see. I think it'll be a blast. So
I think that we are prepared for as much as we can prepare for. We're all planning for these numbers that we have been told, but you start doubting yourself after a while and you go, is it really happening? Are people really coming? The hotels haven't filled up like they said they would immediately, and then all of a sudden they're filled. And then all of a sudden you're continuing to get these people who are calling and they're going, we need a place to stay. And then before you know it, you're doing this and you're like, okay, so this really is happening.
As far as our department is concerned, it's really difficult to plan for something like this because we have no idea what exactly the crowd sizes are going to be. All kinds of speculation and estimates out there of what they think, but no one really knows. And we have a lot of experience dealing with crowd situations, but not necessarily like a large-scale event like this. So, I mean, we're planning some contingencies from anything from like large traffic congestion to having large groups of people moving throughout the city and things like that. The other part of it though is I guess the vulnerability of some type of some terrorist attack or something like that. So those are a lot of the things we've been talking about too. So to make sure that we're constantly doing threat assessments on what could be happening. But again, I don't want anything like that to happen, of course. But I certainly have to talk about it and plan for it. So.
One of the real challenges has been that many of the businesses and residents expect us to have all the answers, and we've never done this. We've prepared for events, and we've prepared, we've responded to disasters and emergencies and things like that, but we've never done anything like this. for those of us that are planning it, it's been a challenge, it's been a lot of work, but I think the feedback I get from a lot of residents is they're really looking forward to how cool this is, that we're here. And I think that really in the context of how demoralized people have been for the last couple of years in particular with the state not having a budget, we're a university town that relies so heavily on SIU. The fact that we now have a budget, we just have a new chancellor, there's been kind of a collective sigh of relief. And I think that this event is a good thing to happen to Carmel and the region, and I just hope it remains positive, a positive thing for people.
Richard Gelderman at Western Kentucky University said the eclipse is not a science thing, it's a human thing. And that really sums it up best, I think. It is a human thing. Everybody can relate to the eclipse in some way. When it happens in the middle of the day and the sun goes away like that, I think everybody knows, they kind of feel something's not right, but then you look at it and you see this absolutely beautiful object up in the sky that is the corona. And I said most people are just overwhelmed with joy at it. So.